Beneath the restless waters off Japan's southernmost shores, where the Pacific Ocean exhales in long, rolling swells, lies a secret that has been sleeping for thousands, perhaps tens of thousands, of years. The water here is turquoise in the shallows, but beyond the reefs, it deepens into a rich, infinite blue. Schools of silver fish scatter like liquid mercury, and shafts of sunlight descend through the waves, cutting pillars of gold into the dark. You adjust your mask, kick downward, and there, in the fading light, the ocean floor transforms into something your mind doesn't quite accept. Steps, terraces, flat plains of stone and right angles that seem too deliberate for nature's casual hand. And as you drift closer, you realize you're looking at the Yonaguni Monument. For centuries, Yonaguni was known simply as Japan's last island, a windswept speck in Okinawa Prefecture, where fishing boats bob in sheltered harbors and typhoons sweep in like visiting giants. The sea around it was feared as much as it was revered, for its currents are strong and its weather can turn in minutes. Local divers had long known of strange rock formations beneath the waves. But in 1986, a local diver named Kihachiro Aratake came across something that would ignite one of the greatest archaeological debates of the 20th century. At a depth of about 25 meters, Aratake discovered what looked like a massive stone terrace, a stepped pyramid the size of a football field, with sharp edges and flat surfaces that rose out of the sandy seabed. It was too big, too perfect to be ignored. Soon, word spread beyond the island, and the world's eyes turned to this remote corner of Japan's seas. As you swim closer in your mind's eye, the structure looms up from the blue, its surfaces scoured by millennia of currents. The main feature is a giant rectangular platform about 150 meters long and 40 meters wide, with terraces that drop away in geometric steps. Some rise in perfect tiers, as though designed for seating an audience of thousands. Others plunge like staircases into the deep, each step broad enough to walk across. And everywhere you look, there are flat plains, sharp corners, and lines that run straight as arrows. Things rarely found together in natural geology. Some divers report what appear to be gateways, narrow passages framed by vertical slabs, and even a formation that resembles a road, running straight and smooth for tens of meters. There are sheer walls that rise 5 stories from the seabed, and massive blocks that look as though they were quarried and placed, not carved by chance. One feature in particular, dubbed the main terrace, resembles a stepped ziggurat, its sides lined with what look like perfect 90-degree cuts. And just beside it, a tall, upright structure has been nicknamed the Turtle for its shape, as though an ancient sculptor had frozen the creature in stone. From the moment it was discovered, the question has been the same. Is this a natural formation, or the remains of a lost civilization? Mainstream geologists, like Japan's own Masaki Kimura of the University of the Ryukyus, have studied the site for decades. Kimura is one of the few academics who leans toward the man-made hypothesis. He argues that the monument is a submerged remnant of an ancient city, built during the last ice age when sea levels were far lower than they are today. Around 10,000 years ago, Yonaguni would have been part of a larger landmass, a bridge between Taiwan and Okinawa, before rising seas swallowed it whole. If the monument is man-made, it would rewrite the history of human settlement in East Asia, pushing it thousands of years earlier than currently accepted. Kimura points to features he believes are unmistakably artificial: carved steps, stone pillars, and what might be petroglyphs on some of the surfaces. He claims there are even remnants of what could have been a castle, a stadium, and temples. The sheer scale of the monument, he says, suggests a highly organized society capable of large-scale engineering. But many geologists disagree. They argue that the Yonaguni Monument could be the result of natural processes. Specifically, the fracturing of sandstone and mudstone along parallel fault lines. The waters around Yonaguni are turbulent, and strong currents, combined with earthquakes, could have sheared the rock into straight edges and stepped terraces. Nature, after all, can be a meticulous architect when given enough time. Yet as you drift along the monument in your imagination, the sense of deliberation is hard to shake. The corners are too square, the planes too smooth, the symmetry too compelling. You can almost imagine people standing here once, looking out over the sea, long before the ocean claimed it. Then come the whispers of older legends, the kind that seem to sprout whenever the past is uncertain. Some link Yonaguni to the myths of Mu, a supposed lost continent said to have vanished beneath the Pacific waves. Others tie it to the Ryukyuan legends of ancient kingdoms that predated recorded history. Their cities now gone but for a few stone ghosts. The monument's position in the East China Sea, a crossroads of ancient maritime trade routes, only adds to the intrigue. Could it have been a port, a ceremonial center, or even a fortress guarding some forgotten domain? The theories multiply like schools of fish in the current. The most daring suggests the monument could be 12,000 years old, built by a culture we barely have the language to imagine. If true, it would predate the pyramids of Egypt by twice as long and place advanced architecture firmly in the hands of a Stone Age society. This clashes with the standard timeline of human development, which is perhaps why the idea is so enticing. Skeptics, however, urge caution. They note that while the site is compelling, it lacks the artifacts, pottery, tools, human remains that would confirm a human presence. They point out that nature has a habit of creating shapes that mimic human design. Hexagonal basalt columns at the Giant's Causeway, for instance, or the stepped tufa formations in certain lakes. The human brain is wired to see patterns, to find order in chaos and underwater. With the mind sharpened by awe and limited by breath, it's easy to let imagination take the lead. Still, something about Yonaguni feels different. Perhaps it's the way the monument seems positioned, as if aligned to some ancient plan. Some divers claim that its angles correspond to astronomical events, hinting at a culture that tracked the stars. Others speak of the eerie atmosphere, the way the light plays across the stone, or how the currents can suddenly shift, as though the sea itself is guarding its secret. Swimming along its terraces, you notice the life that now claims the monument as home. Corals fanning out in delicate lace, parrotfish nibbling at the edges, a sea turtle gliding past with unhurried grace. Whatever the Yonaguni Monument once was, temple, fortress, city, or nothing more than a quirk of geology, it has been adopted by the ocean, folded into its living fabric. The stone that once stood in the sun now lies in perpetual twilight, its story muffled by the slow heartbeat of the tides. And maybe that's the most haunting thing, that this mystery, unlike the buried ruins of land, will never be fully excavated. The sea keeps its secrets well. No matter how many divers descend, how many measurements are taken, the Yonaguni Monument exists in a shifting alien world where certainty is always just out of reach. As you break the surface in your mind's journey, the sunlight feels too bright, the air too warm compared to the silent depths below. You can't quite shake the image. That massive, stepped platform rising from the seabed, a question carved into the floor of the ocean. Thank you for joining me beneath the waves to explore one of Earth's most enduring enigmas. Now I want to hear from you. Is the Yonaguni Monument the work of nature's patient hand, or the legacy of a forgotten civilization drowned by time? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, please like, comment, and share. It truly helps keep these stories alive.